her essence. Woman, where are you? I am in the world where my orb blazes a trail, employing all my capacity to shift atmospheres. Every stride I take causes the earth to shake with the weight of my intelligence. Woman, where are you? I am in the boardroom setting the bar higher, successfully maneuvering through the forces that seek to tell me I am not enough. But yet, I am more than enough. Woman, where are you? I am in the king's palace where I've been summoned to bring the wise counsel that my intuition provides, delivering insight on governing a nation for a world of tomorrow. Woman, where are you? I am in the home where I nurture with the love of a mother, laying the foundation for the future generations and building a home as a wife. The roots of my femininity build a framework for the greatness that lies within me. The purpose of my womb is not just for birthing children, but also to inspire nations. It is through the essence of my being that the world steps into its own destiny, like traversing the Nile River to get to the peak of Mount Everest. The vision of my soul is the path for purpose. Woman, do you not see? It is your essence that causes every other creature to veer your existence. Nature can't comprehend your crafty tapestry, yet it signs your praises and mimics your uniqueness. Your femininity is your divinity wrapped in wisdom, wonder, worthiness, and wealth. And placed into your womb, it is time to take your place at the throne of humanity. We were never lost. We are here, past, present, and future. Greetings, I am Dr. Fayola Delica. I am your passion and purpose activator. I hail from the Sunshine State of Florida. I'm an apostle, ordained pastor, global marketplace influencer, international TV show host, coach, consultant, mentor, spiritual mother and midwife, educator, youth advocate, community leader, and a political strategist. And having said all that, I'm your modern day Renaissance woman. I have been honored to receive awards on an international platform in the following categories: fivefold ministry leader, healthcare professional, serial entrepreneur, motivational speaker, beauty queen. I'm your current Miss International Excellence 2021 and 2022. I have won multiple times #1 international best-selling author, as well as multiple times #1 Amazon best-selling author. Well, I'm honored to be before you today, as this is the month of March, where it's Women's History Month. And let me tell you, Black women, we are making history. In this season, we are shaking up the establishment. We have come to realize our power, purpose, and destiny on the earth. That is why I come to you today to speak to you, my sisters, about dominating in this season. Ladies, hear me roar. We didn't come to play. I say that with all confidence and boldness. We have sat on the sideline long enough in the supportive roles in the many seasons of our lives. However, we are breaking out and coming to our own rightful place in our society, because God has brought us into the earth for such a time as this. That means you are created and we're even equipped to withstand the test of trials that are taking place in our world, especially during this pandemic. As powerful and influential women that you all are, many of you are CEOs of your own business, ministry, and or nonprofit, or maybe you may be in the C-suite of major corporations, or maybe you're just even working a 9 to 5. No matter what level in the workforce you are in need to position yourselves to function at your full capacity. It is doing so, we have to understand our worth and our value. Do you know that you are the baddest chick in the game? Yes, I said it. Let me say it again for those in the back. Do you know that you are the baddest chick in the game? No matter how many other awesome women or even Black women there are in your space or in your industry, there is no one like you. They say that we are replaceable, but are we really? Yes, someone may take your position, but they can never do it like you. Therefore, the key to dominate in this season, you guessed it, is you. Yes, it is truly you. Once we come to realize we are the best at what we do, we start to think and even function differently. In 2021, after all that you've been through, especially making it through this year as what was taking place last year, you can't allow anyone, and I mean anyone, anything. I don't care if it's your mama, your daddy, your children, your grandchildren, or even your spouse. We are not allowing anyone to make us play small in this season. You know why? Because you owe it to yourself. You don't owe it just to yourself, but you owe it to your dreams, your destiny, your family, generations after you, considering your bloodline, and even the world. It is now to birth everything that is on the inside of you. During this pandemic, many may be still quarantined, but yet I challenge you. Yes, I'm going to challenge you during this presentation. I'm going to challenge you to do a self-inventory of who you really are. What are you made of? And what do you bring to the table? Whether that table is in your church, whether that table is in a boardroom, whether that table is in a community or any other platform, what do you bring to the table? And having said that, that's talking about looking at the gifts and talents that you have, including the qualities that people notice in you and even the skills that people continue to come to you for. I'm going to give you all about 2 minutes. Yes, I'm going to stop my presentation and allow you time for yourself, because I know we are busy women and there's so much going on in the world. And as you've probably been to many conferences and workshops and seminars, but of course you're at the BlackWoman Confidential, and we want to build that confidence inside of you in this season, in this hour. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I want you to grab a blank sheet of paper and a pen or pencil. And what you're going to do in these 2 minutes is you're going to make a list of all your gifts, all your talents, and all your skills. Because what I've truly come to understand is that when you do self-inventory, you truly know your value and your gifts because you know what you have on the inside, then that's when you know how to dominate in the season. That's when you know no longer how to play small, but play big. As they say, you play big or you're going home. And let me tell you, my sisters, we're not going home in this season, this hour. So I'm going to give you all 2 minutes to once again make a list of your gifts and talents and skills. And after that, we'll continue the presentation. All right, I know it probably gave you just a little bit more than 2 minutes, but time is up. See, after completing this process, I want you to realize that you need to process these findings and understand how to be strategic in this season. As they say, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. We need to shift in this season. We need to pivot in this season, meaning that we need to do things differently in order to reach our full capacity, in order to bring more happiness into our life, in order to bring more money into our life, in order to bring more of an impact, influence, and power in our lives. So in this season, it's about you showing up in the world, but in a different place. See, many of you may be feeling frustrated this season, and I'm going to tell you what that frustration is all about. It's realizing that the greatness on the inside of you is ready to come forth. It is ready to be birthed out in this season. No longer can you be a sitting duck, just sitting on your gifts and talents, just waiting for the right time, the right person to identify you, or even the right season, because you're feeling like things are not in place. But let me tell you, there will always be life. Life will always bring you challenges. But as they say, when life gives you lemon, you better make sure you make some good lemonade. So in this season, it's about putting you first. Now you may be saying, well, what do you come off with giving us this activity? How did it impact you? Well, I will tell you, as a coach and a consultant, I say I'm my first client. The same process that I'm taking you through is the same process that God took me through. Let me give you a little backstory about my journey. In 2008, before the economic crash, I was very successful. At the age of 24, I built a $250,000 home. I was traveling the world, my Gucci, my Prada, Dior. I was making an impact in my church, impact in my community, and I was a full-time seminarian. I thought, as being a nurse and an educator, coming from great schools, that my life would always be perfect. Of course, I did it a little bit backwards. I was building the American dream, your beautiful home with the white picket fence, you got your little dog, but I was waiting for my spouse and children to eventually meet me along my journey of life. But unfortunately, in 2008, unexpectedly, the whole world went into a recession. And that did not exclude us here in the United States. And I tell you, my life shifted overnight. I was a healthcare contractor making a lot of money. And unfortunately, during that time, hospitals started to freeze their budgets. So of course, as we were not regular staff employees, we were the first to go. So at this time, I wasn't thinking about savings because I was young, I was a nurse, I was in a well-established and stable job. But unfortunately, little by little, I was going through my savings and going through all the little things that I had saved up in different places. Then it came to a point that I was no longer able to pay my bills. I became homeless. I literally lost everything that I have built in my 24, 25 years of living. And being homeless, I was going through so many mental breakdowns. I couldn't even think straight. I couldn't think of the fact of going back to my parents' home because I was the first to move out. I was the first to build a home. I was the first to do a lot of things. And plus, I'm the middle child. So, I gave my parents a run for their money. But then I realized that I eventually had to go back home, just like the prodigal son, and realizing, why am I putting myself through all these struggles when I can go back home knowing my parents would receive me? So in going back home, I had to reinvent myself. I couldn't use my nursing license because I've been out of the hospital for so long. It was hard to get a hospital job. So I was very frustrated because I came from two great institutions, I would like to think, around the world. And none of those things, accomplishments, all the success that I had gained over the years mattered at that point. So I had to do my own self-reflection. I had to realize, Fayola, what do you bring to the table? Besides the home that you used to own, besides the car that you used to own, besides all the luxury and materialistic things that you used to own, but what do you have on the inside that has value? And through this process, I remember one day I was sitting at Barnes & Noble trying to get my life together. And this lady walks up to me and she says, do I know you? And of course, I had a chip on my shoulder because I couldn't figure out how my life got to this point. And so I was about to brush her off and something said, allow her to speak into your life. So she asked me, what do you do for a living? And at this point, I didn't know what to say. I didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. Every morning I was knocking on my parents' door, asking them for quarters, nickels, and dimes to put gas in my car and to make sure my bank account did not go negative at the age of 30. And at this point, I don't know how these words came out of my mouth, but I told her I was a speaker. She was like, wow, that's awesome. You have a great voice. And I would love to invite you to be one of our guest speakers in our upcoming biannual women's event. So of course I jumped on the opportunity, but I did not have a business. I wasn't even a professional speaker. But what I did after that opportunity, I went home and I literally lived at FedEx every day from open to close and creating my website, my business cards, my portfolio, everything that I needed to be able to present myself as a professional speaker. And fast forwarding 8 years later, I'm an international award-winning speaker. I am a 9-time published author, multiple #1 Amazon bestselling author, multiple #1 international bestselling author, and doing a lot of great things. But I had to understand my value. I had to understand what I bring to the world. And so I challenge you in this season, this hour. It is time to invest in yourself. See, I started taking classes and putting myself in different spaces to really allow these gifts that I never realized to be able to help me to understand my value. So in this season, this hour, I challenge you to put yourself first. And in doing so, it's about investing in you. So you have to learn how to say yes, not to good opportunities, but to the best opportunities that will allow you to bring your greatness to full manifestation. See, when you are occupied with things that do not align with your path of greatness, it is a distraction. It takes away from your time, your money, your energy, and even your skills that you can't even tap in to the fullness of what's on the inside of you. Well, today, I want to tell you that I am setting you free from being a people pleaser. I am setting you free from the feeling of wanting to be accepted by others. I am even setting you free from the disappointments and the betrayal that you have experienced in the hands of others. Let me tell you, I've been there and done that. But when I came to realize that I have an obligation to leave out my gifts and talents in this world, I can't say it's because of people that allowed me to not be who I was created to be, but I had to take life in my own hands. So no longer can you take the time to wail in your challenges, but it is time to get your breakthrough, setting you in a wealthy place. And I'm not just talking about finances. I'm talking about self-love, relationships, health, and even spirituality. You know, this day, why don't you choose this day to be the best version of yourself? As you do, you will know how to dominate in this season, because you know what will happen? Success will be your companion in life. No matter what you do, no matter what goals and dreams you place out, because you've invested in yourself, because you know what you bring to the table, success will follow you. It will chase you down. My Black sisters, you are bosses. You are history makers. You're change agents. And this year, let you walk into the power and influence to dominate in this season. I tell you, my Black sisters, as I hope that you're enjoying this experience of the BlackWoman Confidential, do not allow this experience and opportunity to pass you by, that you don't come out with great exploits, that you don't come out understanding who you really are and what you're meant to give and leave in this world. Once again, I am Dr. Fayola Delica. I am your passion and purpose activator. You can follow me on all social media platforms, and I look forward to seeing you real soon in the world called success, because it's your time to dominate in this season.